Hey friends, it's Lauren and welcome to a Whimsy Stamps video. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I'm going to be sharing how I created 3 very easy slimline Christmas cards using the brand new Whimsy Stamps Christmas Dear Clear Stamps. So I went ahead and stamped them in black ink and colored them in with my alcohol markers. I have 3 sheets from the frozen Slimline paper pack, and I created frames out of some navy cardstock using the Slimline ATC Windows die set. I am measuring them to see how they will fit on a slimline card. The frames fit perfectly at 8.5 by 3.5. So I'm just going to trim my backgrounds to be about a 1/4 inch shorter on both sides. So just slightly larger than 8.25 by 3.25. So that way I know it will fit on my slimline card and it will be covered by my frame that I made. So I'm just using a paper cutter and trimming all 3 of my backgrounds, making sure to trim from areas that I don't mind being cut out of my background. Once all 3 of these are done, I'm going to get some card bases ready. These again are slimline card bases. They are 3.5 by 8.5 once they are trimmed and scored. And I'm going to start putting together my cards. So again, these cards are super simple thanks to these awesome slimline papers. I am going to use some wet glue and just adhere my background to my card base. I'm just centering it and you can see there's a slight border, but it will be covered by my frame. I'm going to be using some foam adhesive strips. This is 1/8 of an inch wide, and I'm going to cover the complete back of my frame, pull up the release paper, and then center it onto my card front. Now I did get one edge a little wonky, so I'm going to try and fix that and make it as straight as possible. Once that's done, I can add my critters. So I'm going to grab some more foam adhesive and I'm going to start going through my pile of critters here to see which ones I want to put on this background. I did stamp and color quite a bit, so I have plenty for 3 backgrounds. So this one has a little bit of a kind of lake, water, ocean on the left here. So I'm just going to put my largest deer with the penguin on his back over here on the right of this card. And then I'm going to go ahead and put together the rest of my slimline cards. I'm going to go ahead and do them off camera because you already saw how I did one. There's no need to see me do it again. So I'm taking a look at all of my critters and just making sure I'm happy with the one. Here is my next background, which is a snowy hill scene, and I know I can fit a lot on here. So I have my deer that is sitting down in the snow. I'm going to put some foam adhesive behind this cute little penguin and set him next to her. I also have this deer that looks like it's flying. That's actually one of the adorable sentiments in the stamp set, is talking about how I can fly. And then I'm going to put some foam adhesive behind this sweet little bunny with the bell. What a cute little scene with all those critters. And for my last one, I'm going to put that same flying looking deer on the right side. And then I have that other penguin with the little candy cane. I'm just going to use some foam adhesive on him as well and place him just to the left of my deer, making sure to not accidentally overlap the foam adhesive. So once those are all done, I can take a look at them and just see how cute my scenes are. And I know that I want to add a sentiment. So I'm going to set these aside, clean up my desk, and I die cut 3 quick strips from the Quick Strips die set, and I'm going to do some embossing. So I have my embossing tool, which just adds a anti-static powder to each of those strips. I'm using my grid mat and the sentiment Jingle All the Way and stamping in VersaMark on all 3. I have some ultrafine silver embossing powder that I'm going to use for all 3 of these sentiments. So I'm going to get them all lined up onto my little coffee filter here, and I'm going to pour that embossing powder over all of them. I'm going to take one at a time, tap off the excess embossing powder, and then use my heat gun to melt down that sentiment. Embossing powder has a little bit of plastic in it, like little bits of plastic, so using this heat gun melts it down and creates that fun, shiny, and smooth sentiment. Once all 3 of those are done, I'm just taking a Swiffer cloth to wipe off any of that excess powder, the anti-static powder, and now I'm going to use some foam adhesive behind my strips and adhere them to my cards. So for this first one, I'm going to put it to the top left because it is a nice open area. Make sure it is straight and then move on to my next card. For this one, I'm using my grid mat and I'm going to put it to the center of the card since I have images on both sides. And then just like the first card, I'm putting my sentiment to the left since my image is on the right. Now I'm going to set all of these out and I'm going to grab some embellishments. I have these pretty iridescent winter sequins and I'm just going to use a jewel picker and place them in various spots on all 3 of my cards. And once I'm happy with the placement, I'm going to use that jewel picker again and some wet glue and just pick them up and glue them down to the cards. See, super easy Christmas cards you can do. You can stamp and color maybe while you're watching some TV and then put together some easy Christmas cards thanks to these awesome Slimline background papers. So here is a look at all 3 of the cards. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. If you did, please click that like button, and if you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. Thank you so much for watching. You can use the links down below in the description to check out any of the new products. Make sure you also head over to Whimsy Stamps social media, like our Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook group for even more inspiration. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.